You keep waiting to feel ready. To start the thing. To make the change. To have the conversation. To become the version of yourself that is finally prepared, finally confident, finally sure enough to move. And somehow that moment keeps not arriving. This is one of the most consistent patterns in human psychology, the belief that readiness is a prerequisite for action, when in fact it almost always works the other way around. Readiness follows action. It does not precede it. The research is unambiguous on this. Studies on motivation consistently show that the feeling of motivation arises after you begin, not before. The activation energy required to start something is real, but the feeling of not being ready is not a reliable signal that you are actually unready. It is almost always anxiety in disguise. The Lubavitcher Rebbe had a phrase he returned to often: turn it, for everything is in it. But more practically, he observed something about human nature that modern psychology has since confirmed. He said that people mistake the feeling of uncertainty for the reality of unreadiness. They are not the same thing. Uncertainty is permanent. There is no version of the future where you have complete information before you act. The people you admire who seem so confident, they feel uncertain too. They just stopped requiring the uncertainty to resolve before they moved. The Rebbe taught that the capacity for action is not something you develop by waiting. It is something you discover by acting. The first step reveals the second step. The beginning creates the conditions for the middle. You cannot think your way into readiness, you can only move your way in. This is not recklessness. It is not the advice to leap before you look. It is something more specific, to stop using the absence of certainty as a reason to stay still. Because here is what waiting actually produces. Not readiness. More waiting. The longer you stay still, the more convinced you become that movement requires something you do not yet have. The gap between you and the thing you want gets psychologically larger even as the actual obstacle stays the same. There is a version of your life in which you look back at this exact moment as the moment things changed. Not because something shifted in the world. Because you decided to stop waiting for the feeling and started anyway. The readiness you are waiting for is not coming. But it is available. Just on the other side of the first move. What is the one thing you have been putting off that you could begin today, not complete, just begin? That is the question the Rebbe would ask. Not whether you are ready, but whether you are willing to move.